Many of you guys know that 15,000 Degrees was born out of the 55K initiative. It was born from Black leaders who at the time said, we need to put some sturdy stakes in the ground around African American educational attainment. And we need to make sure that equity is always on the agenda, not just as a value, but as an action. And that's what the initiative has done. So Audwin, I've got a couple of questions for you, and then also a couple of questions for you too, Laura. Hi, Laura, good to see you. Um, Audwin, today is really a time of reflection and celebration and learning. As you reflect on 15K, what are you most proud of?
Well, thanks, Dana. And first of all, I have to make reference to Ben's reference to you as a superpower because you are. And when I think about the whole equity versus equality, that's Dana's forte. And she introduced that to all of us several times. And then another superpower, Alice Houston, also co chairs. But when I reflect, I think about that table where we did ask the other signers of the Mayor's Education Roundtable if we could take a look at degree attainment for African Americans in Louisville. And all of the other signers wholeheartedly agreed. So we did so. And that was the birth of 15K. And when all of you work with us at 15K, you know that when it comes to African American education attainment, 15K will be at the table, and we have been at the table. So when I reflect back, I think about Dean Blaine Hudson. And as I said to another group, when we wanted to think about how we could get involved, we called upon Blaine to help us. In this year 2020, when we fight for justice on all fronts, part of the response we got back from Dean Hudson and going back to his days was about education and injustices in how do we help our young Black kids get a great education. So when I reflect back, then I always think about Dean Hudson challenging us. And that's where the name 15K came from. Some of the data that Dean Hudson presented, 15,000 of those degrees should be, of the 55,000 degrees, should be for African Americans. So Dana, long answer to your short question, I'm sorry.
I think it was a great answer. I think it was an awesome answer. So that's looking back. Let's look forward very quickly. What should the community know about the work of 15K as we move forward?
And we're still on the battleground. As you know, Dana, since you're one of the leaders here with 15K, we're always thinking about scholarships. At our last meeting, we talked about our annual scholarship fund. You'll hear Laura talk about Rise Together. That has been a tremendous program that was birthed. Ty will remember when Alice and I spoke to him. And of late, we decided to partner with the Academy's program at Shawnee, where their graphic design program will work with us to rebrand 15K. So for all the folks here who are working with the Academy's program, we're going to make very good use of the students and faculty and staff at Shawnee Academy, and they will help us to rebrand ourselves. That will be interesting because we will be getting youth voice. And I understand those youth are looking forward to talking to us and telling us how we're old school and working with social media. So they're ready to tell us how we move into the future with social media. So I'm looking forward to that, Dana.
Very nice. Thank you, Audwin. So it sounds like 15K isn't going anywhere.
I think you already know the answer to that, but thanks for prepping me with that answer. We do not intend to go anywhere. And in fact, we do not intend to change our name. One of the things that we always so proud of is working with all of you in our various networks, working with JCPS, the Urban League, Sadiqa, and Kish on our planning committee that meets monthly. So yeah, we plan on staying in the game and working just as hard. And you all know that Alice co-chaired to Say Yes for JCPS, and Dana and I were on that committee with her. And so that was part of 15K as well.
Very nice. Thank you, Audwin. So Laura, we're going to transition over to you. We know that the academic achievement gap and just the corona gap and racialized outcomes are, really present, and we are going to have to double down. one of the partnerships the 15K has is with JCTC that's called Rise Together, that is about African American education, enrollment in post-secondary, academic excellence, and graduation. And we are really pleased to partner with you all on that. So, you know, we've been at this a couple of years with Jefferson now. Laura, tell us a little bit about why this initiative is so important to Jefferson.
Thanks, Dana. The first thing I do want to just give credit to you and to 15,000 Degrees, because Dana was one of the primary architects of Rise Together. And I remember the first time I heard about it, it was extremely exciting to me. And I got really excited and wanted everybody to know what was to come. And because of Dana and Audwin and all of the folks at 15K, we were able to get this off the ground. And it has become really a national model of what it looks like to have community support behind a groundbreaking equity initiative. So it really is a big deal. And so let me just tell you a little bit about it. So 3 years ago, when we started this, about half of the African-American students at Jefferson resided in one of the 5 neighborhoods that 15K was really focused on. And although as a college, we were showing an upward trend in our statistics on student success, there was still a significant equity gap, and that had to be addressed. And Rise Together was one of the ways that we wanted to address that. So with this program that is specifically for African-American students, the students in the program have access to a success coach. They have connection to college and community supports and resources. They have a mentor that's a campus mentor and a community mentor. They've taken trips to 4-year institutions with a specific focus on visiting HBCUs and getting students excited about their life beyond Jefferson and what the possibilities are. They've had access to arts and networking with African-American business leaders in the community. And it's just been tremendous. And one of the other things that makes it really special is the close community that's built among the participants. And they take a few classes together and really build a very strong peer support network that has just proven to be monumentally important in their success. So we have now seen the students in Rise Together have outpaced not only their African-American peers, but outpaced the success rates across the college when it comes to GPA and retention. So it has just been a phenomenal program, and we are so excited that now much of what we've learned through Rise Together is available now and expanded beyond those 5 neighborhoods.
Very nice. So there have been some system shifts. Could you maybe take our last minute and talk a little bit about how Rise Together has changed Jefferson's system and, you know, shifted the way that the college does its business?
Yes, I will try to make it as quick as I can. So a lot of good things have come from this, and what we have learned from students and their experience helped us clarify some of the non-academic barriers that get in the way of student success. And so through Rise Together, we have really, we began to understand more of the importance of a single stop service center for students. And so although we already knew this was a need, the Rise Together experience helped us to create a stronger argument and obtain a support from the CENS Foundation, which provided the funding to help us stand up our hub food pantry, which is not only a food pantry, but also a central connection for campus and community resources. That was one big outcome that's been fantastic. Another thing that's happened, as you mentioned, well, earlier you heard the Lumina Foundation was very impressed and supportive of 15K and Rise Together. And because of that, Lumina has provided financial support to Jefferson that's enabled us to have more interns that are paid internships, so we can expand that high touch one-on-one connection and coaching, and that's been tremendous. And then another thing that's been done at the college that's a big change that's very helpful is we've been able to align all of our non-academic support services to have a tighter connection to help with internal referrals to really maximize the wraparound support for students. So lots of good things have happened. The college has made a huge investment in this, and we plan to have this as a integrated, ongoing, long-term, sustainable initiative throughout our college.
Very nice. Thank you, Laura. We appreciate your partnership, and just a quick shout out to the other 15K members on the Zoom. We appreciate your hard work as well. Thank you. I'm going to toss it back to you, Ben.
Thanks so much, Dana. And thank you for all the work for the people on this call who have been recognized and not. The centrality of this focus on equity has never been more apparent than it is right now.